Hey everyone, Dr. Frunke here with a review and final diagnosis on the Spyderco Para 3. Now, if you go back on my channel, I actually already have a final diagnosis video on the Para 3. And to be perfectly honest, when I got the plain G10 and S30V version, I wasn't in love. I didn't have a good experience with the steel. The edge kind of chipped a little bit on me, but I revisited it and I made an updated thought video where I realized the steel was relatively easy to sharpen. And once I added a deep carry clip to the knife, it really improved the overall quality of the experience. And so I really revisited that and I realized I liked the knife more with a deep carry clip and a sharpened edge. And so as the knife has been going on now for a little over a year, I think, they've been releasing these higher end versions. Some sprint runs like this carbon fiber and S90V version. And then they've also released some of the production models like this Maximet version right here. They have an S110V version. And so I wanted to come back and revisit the knife and talk about these sort of upgraded versions and see if that makes a difference in my opinion of the knife. Before I get into the knives themselves, I wanted to give a thank you to Jim's Firearms. I actually obtained both of these knives through Jim's Firearms. This is a local shop here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana that has a bunch of production knives, and they have these high-end and sort of rare Spydercos sometimes. They also have ZTs. They're going to have some Riots, and so this is another avenue to check out. You can see them at jimsfirearms.net. You can find them on Instagram at Jim's Firearms, so wanted to give a shout out to them. Thank you guys so much. So let's talk about these two knives right here. I don't want to really get into all the specifics of the Para 3 because I've already done that in videos. Basically, you can see here the size comparison as it compares to a Para 2 and a Native 5. And so you can see it's actually a very similar overall size profile to a Native 5, but you do get a bit more cutting length. You get a much smaller handle on the Para 3 here than you do on the PM2, but you also get a much smaller blade. One of the problems with the Paramilitary 2 is that you have so much handle in this forward choil and then not enough blade. A lot of people complain about that, but you know, the Para 2 is probably the most perfect cutting tool on the market right now in terms of folding knives. And so the Para 3, I feel like, was an evolution of that, but it needed a little bit something more, and I think that they finally achieved that. I wanted to go through my experience with these two particular knives and talk about them a little bit. So this is the S90V version. I have an unboxing on this one from a while back, and I have been carrying this knife. Honestly, I am in love with this knife. The carbon fiber handle makes it nice and light right here, so I'll bring out the scale. We'll show what the comparisons are. The carbon fiber version comes in at 3.18 ounces, and this Maximet and G10 comes in at 3.47. There may be a slight variation because of the deep carry clips that I have on these knives, but they're essentially between 3 and 3.5 ounces right here. So that is an excellent EDC weight. And when you add an upgraded steel like S90V with its high stainless corrosion resistance right there, or Maximet that's ultra hard and very strong steel, you just start to have this amazing sort of combination of ergonomics, lightweight, functionality, and now super steels. And that's what really makes the difference to me. This knife was kind of boring in S30V and black G10. There are a lot of knives with black G10 out there, and it just didn't really excite me the way that I wanted it to. But in carrying these knives, in experiencing these upgraded steels, this S90V just does not dull. It doesn't chip. This thing is held an edge beautifully, and it doesn't corrode. I have really put this thing through its paces. I've worn it while I was sweaty, and it just didn't rust on me. The Maximet, however, does not really have that same sort of corrosion resistance. I have a little spot of corrosion. Let's see if I can capture it right there. Just right there next to the Spyder. There's a little freckle right there that developed on this knife just after carrying it. I didn't even really put it through any of its paces. I did take down some cardboard boxes, and this steel is incredible. This Maximet steel. If you can deal with a patina on your steels, then I think that this Maximet one might be the ultimate iteration of this knife. For me and my personal carry, I prefer the S90V because I want a corrosion resistant steel, and I really like the way that this one looks with the carbon fiber. What I do think they should implement on more knives is the stonewash finish that you see on this Maximet version. It's almost a polished stonewash. And what that actually does is it creates this unbelievably smooth surface for the interface with the phosphor bronze washers. Now the S90V version is very smooth, as you can see. It does just freely drop shut, and both of these are in perfect tune. Both of these are in perfect centering. These are not loose. There's no blade play when I unlock these compression locks and I wiggle these blades back and forth. I'm very careful with my tuning of my Spydercos. I can talk about that a little bit in the sense that you want your Para 2 and your Para 3 to have no blade play when you disengage the compression lock and you wiggle it back and forth, but you also want it to be freely dropping just like this. When you achieve that, you want to Loctite that right into place. I've done that on both of these knives. I will say I prefer the action on the Maximet because it's so smooth. That stonewash finish, I think, would be really great on some other knives. Now, I like a full satin finish, but it's going to show wear much faster than this stonewash finish, and there may have indirectly been a benefit in the fact that this is a smoother action. I really love the way this Maximet feels. So Spyderco, if you're watching this, I would love to see this finish on some more blades because it's a more user-friendly finish and it may have that action benefit right there. So in revisiting these knives, I find myself in love with the Para 3. Honestly, this may be my favorite overall Spyderco. I really, really like the Para 2. This may be the best cutting tool, the best folding knife cutting tool on the market right now, and it's been that way for quite a while. It's just a great knife. It functions so well. It's just really well thought out. But the EDC ability of this knife right here, combined with a super functional blade, and now in these premium steels, this may be my overall favorite Spyderco knife right now. And a lot of people are going to give me some hell for that because, oh, the Para 2 is better. Even I said it myself that at a certain point I prefer the Paramilitary 2. But now after having these knives, this is my go-to lightweight knife. If I know that I need to carry a lightweight knife, say I'm wearing gym shorts or even just regular shorts because it's hot here, I'm going to go for a lightweight knife and a smaller, more lightweight knife. And so this has really filled that niche for me quite well. This is really an update to my update on the Para 3. I definitely recommend you guys go check out the Para 3. Check out these higher end steel versions. I don't think that the S30V version is really that awesome. It was okay. 100% you got to throw a deep carry clip on these knives. This one I got from MXG Gear. I highly recommend this clip. It's very, very good. It is a blatant copy of the Lynch Northwest clip, but you know, what can you do? And this one was bought from Blade for Sale on Amazon. I'll leave some links down below so you guys can find those. In any case, guys, I just wanted to make a quick video sort of detailing these two knives and my experience and how I've grown to love the Para 3 now that it's sort of grown up, now that it's evolved, now that it's become the knife that it needed to be. I'm going to end up selling the Maximet version because I don't really need two versions and the Louisiana humidity is going to be hell for that Maximet. I'm going to hold on to the S90V version here because it's my size reference right now. But tell me what you guys think of these knives. Do you have either of these knives? Do you have one of these Sprint Run Para 3s or one of the higher end steel versions? How have your thoughts changed on the Para 3 now that it's been a year? And we've gotten used to the concept of the smaller Paramilitary 2. How do you guys feel about the Para 3 right now? I really want to open a discussion in the community about this knife again and see where we fall right now. I definitely think that they still need to get rid of these lanyard tubes. They really need to reposition the clip positioning, but I talked about all that before. But throw a deep carry clip on it and you're in business. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks to Jim's Firearms again for having these knives at a reasonable price. I'm going to just throw a shout out there again. And go ahead and click like and subscribe to my channel here. Leave some comments down below. And as always, guys, this is Dr. Frunky saying take care.